Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the best way to make an auto deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! So for an auto deck is, for example, I'm going to show you a bunch of these videos of my previous duels. You pretty much go into a duel and then and then there's a little auto feature on the top right corner. It's only about the CPU when you're out inside the world. It doesn't work when you're battling the duelists inside the portal or online duels. So auto duel pretty much what it does is the computer pretty much duels for you depending on what you get in your hands, like the cards you draw. So the best way to make a deck like this is to pretty much use cards that are simple. Like don't use anything complex or anything that becomes too strategic. Pretty much you can beat your opponent by using brute force. Whoever has the higher attack monster, like right now, you eventually win. If you do anything more complex than that, like trying to use rituals, flip effects, and the computer will confuse, and you'll end up losing more often. I find that by using the brute force mentality, you'll end up doing better. Also, for example, each character in the game has skills. Let me show you here. For example, Bandit Keith, he has a skill. Right now, I currently have Switcheroo, which pretty much every time you start a game, it lets you automatically switch a card out and put a card in. So that skill, when you use the auto duel, doesn't work. So the only skill that I can see that the auto duel works in is if for example, you use the field cards. Like if I let's go to Yugi or Yami Yugi. That's what they call it in the game. Power of Dark, which pretty much summons the Yami field. Which gives your dark monster, or not dark monsters, but fiends and spellcasters 200 extra attack. Those skills will go on automatically. So if you're gonna make an auto duel deck, you definitely want to use one of those skills. Most duels has one, so Bandit Keith doesn't have one, but Yugi, Kaiba, I think Mai has one. Rex has one. I'm not sure about these. Oh, I know Mako has one. But you want to use those field cards to give your monsters stronger attacks for you to more likely win. But I'm using Bandit Keith right now just because I want to unlock Metamorph. But anyways, pretty much when you do it that way, you're more likely to win. No complicated cards. If you see, so what you can do when you first start a duel is you'll likely see your hand. So when you first start a duel, you'll see your hand before it even goes off. You'll see what's inside your hand. And what you could do from there is, when you actually see your hand, just adjust it a little bit. So if, for example, you see cards that you don't like right away, either you switch your route to change it out, or you could, play smart until you feel at the point where you could automatically duel. Because not every game you could auto duel right away. So the next thing you should probably worry about is, let's see. If you see any point during the game where the system starts, well, you could, some duels, if you feel like you're about to win, you could just ignore it and walk away from it. But if you see at any point during you glance at the screen while it's all dueling, the game is actually kind of messing up, making wrong plays. Like for example, I have Flip Monster, which I never use the flip effect for, but I mainly use it as like a beat stick. But the game, every time I drew that card, regardless of what's on the field, it always sets it. Which is ridiculous because sometimes I don't even need the flip effect at all. I just need it to attack. So if you see your auto duel always doing that for some particular monster, you definitely want to take it out for your auto duel deck because it's going to do it every single time. And I've seen it where it costs me to lose a lot of the time. So you're like I said before, you definitely want to take a look at it. It's not automatically all the time. But when you first start, definitely it's pretty automatic. But once you get to like stage 30, where I'm at right now, some of the duels has a little more complex decks, so you can't automatically just leave it alone. So definitely keep an eye on it if you're auto dueling at stage 30. Maybe I think stage 25 is when the duelist starts getting, or the computers start getting better decks. You definitely want to watch it then. But most of the time, I'm like 80% what the deck I currently have with Bandit Keith, I win. But if I use my deck with Yami, once I get my Metamorph with Bandit Keith, I'm pretty sure that percentage will raise up higher. But right now it's just slow because I don't have the fill card and the deck's not really made too well. I'm using it just to level them up to get that fill card. But let me show you an example of the deck right now. So let me show you my deck right now. So the deck I'm currently using, let's see, I'm gonna go into my Bandicoot, click on this one. So this is the deck I currently have with Bandicoot. I'm using this a lot just because I want to, load myself up. But this monster in particular, the Stern Mystic, for some reason he still has a flip effect. The game always sets them for some reason, even though I don't even care about the flip effect. I use them mainly as a beat stick. So I'm thinking about taking those off just because it's bad flow for the system. What else is there? But the auto duel is pretty well with this deck so far. Nothing in this card list so far seems a little or causing the system to mess up a little bit. Only card that I think I might take out is just because I don't really need it. I'm using this as a way to unlock one of the characters because you need to activate a certain amount of traps. Also, I don't know. It's just like something I drew real quickly just to have around for Bandicoot. But this card I might take it out just because the system's not really too smart when to use it. Because what this does is it removes the top card of your opponent's deck. Then after that, if it's a monster, normal summons it or special summons it. Usually, what you want to do is use this at the end of your opponent's turn. That way, whenever they draw, they can't use it, and hopefully you beat them before that card becomes useful. But anyways, you basically want your strongest monster possible, and then it's too complex. Like for example, I think I have a ritual deck somewhere here. Let's see, I think it's this next one here. Like this deck here, the game will definitely lose its mind because there's too much things going on that it can't really comprehend. Too much critical thinking, and that revolves around more than 2 steps or 2-3 steps. You don't want to do. Like for example, you use this Sonic Bird to grab a ritual card. Then when you have the ritual card, you ritual summon. Or you might not have it, you might hold on to it. It just becomes really hard. Like this card, for example, if you use it and you know that you're gonna get a ritual monster next turn to summon, it might discard one. It does some weird things like that. So you definitely don't want to use ritual monsters, especially when the game doesn't really, or the auto duel feature isn't too smart. So you want to use common sense or really straightforward 1-2 steps. Like for example, like this monster's not strong enough. How do I get stronger? Just equip it to it, and then you're good. Anything more than that just loses it, and then more likely to lose. But those are my little tips in terms of my what I've been doing in the game to, become better at auto duel. Because most of the time you're gonna get these free spawns here, and then these duels are usually really boring. So the auto duel feature is really useful. But for anyone having trouble, thanks for watching.